Hey y'all, it's Cookie. This is the last Monday of 2019. I just cannot believe it. I am so happy that this year is coming to an end on such a good note. I got my bonus. Ow! Can you say annuity? Annuity? Yes, honey. So anyway, today was a good day. As you can see, I'm all bundled up because it is cold out here. Okay, and it was raining earlier. The forecast is calling for more rain later on tonight. So anyway, I just wanted to pop on here really, really quick just to check in. Oh, nothing's really going on. Everybody's getting ready for New Year's Eve. Oh, you should see my coworkers, honey. They doing it big. Do you hear me? Um, the brunettes and with blonde. The blondes are going silver, and people with brown hair are going red, crimson. I was like, oh my God, it's so exciting. Anyway, I ain't gonna do nothing. The only thing that I want to go do is, go up to the rooftop and stuff like that. And I love working out up there. So I plan on doing that. I just don't know when. And so there's a couple of other things I want to do in 2020, but right now I'm just concerned about ending 2019 on a high note. And so I want to be able to pop in and do uploads for all the last days of 2019, which, it ain't nothing but a couple of days left. It's not even a week left in this year. So, anyway, I just feel euphoric. That's how I feel. If you saw me on Instagram, I did a lot of writing over this weekend. A lot of stuff has been coming to me, a lot of things that I want to be able to do. And so I feel like 2020 is going to be really creative. It's going to be really amazing. And I am so looking forward to it. I am so ready. What else did I? Oh, I spent today, I started reading my book. I did not know that Morris Day, I'm learning a lot about him as a person, reading his book. And I even made some notes and everything. I put it, when I got it and everything, I did do a YouTube upload and also did some things on Instagram. This is a picture I did not put on Instagram, mostly because I just saw it today. Look. Morris and Prince. Ow! And the book is written really weird because, at least throughout the parts that I've read so far, it's got commentary by Prince too, so it's kind of like Morris is actually haunted by Prince, and there's one point in there where he is in the prelude where he says, I'm no mystic. I'm not saying that I have the power of telepathy or can communicate with souls on the other side. I don't and I can't, but I swear on my sacred pearl white DW drum set that every time I sit down to start telling my story, I hear him. That's not what he said. He says, I hear this MF whispering in my ear. He won't leave me alone. Won't be quiet, won't be left out of this trip. So I'm taking him along, I'm letting him in, gonna let you hear the voice that I'm hearing. I'm hearing him say, good decision, bro, and I'll tell you why. More folks are more interested in reading about me than you. And then he says, agreed. Then Prince's voice, then what are you gonna do about it? And Morris says, right about you, bro. And then Prince says, that means you'll be putting words in my mouth. And Morris says, you'll give me those words. It's different. It's a different style of writing. It's very creative. I can say that. It's very creative, and all through it, it's the voice of Prince as Morris is telling it, like what he hears from Prince as he's going through this here book. So it's a good read so far. If you haven't gotten your copy, get your copy. It's on Amazon, and it's been marked down. I think I paid like $24, but it was like $29, something like that. So it's really good. His acknowledgement says, writing this book has been both therapeutic and more rewarding for me than I ever could have imagined. None of this could have been possible without the loving support of my beautiful wife, Lorena Day. Thank you for being my rock, my strength, and my peace. I'm forever grateful for my loving mother who gave birth to cool me. She showered me with unconditional love, was the first to cultivate my talents, and through all the ups and downs in my life, forever remained in my corner. That's what's amazing to me. Just in reading it, just how he was saying about his dad and how he only saw him a couple of times, and how his mom married this other guy that was real mean to him, and but his mom was real good to him, and the man used to beat her up. I was like, what? That was shocking for me, and that he saw that, and his mom got them out of Illinois, Springfield, in the dead of the night to get away from this crazy man. And then when they got to Minnesota, they lived with his aunt, who was very good to him and to his sister and everything. It's just amazing. I mean, you just never know people's story. You just never know. And so I was just sitting there and just reading, and through it, you have these snippets from Prince intermingled in with the story. And it's just, it's a good read. It's a really good read. And then he says about getting into the band with Prince when they were still kids, And he was saying how Prince was so standoffish. Everybody else were supportive and everything with him. And but Prince wasn't. He was aloof, So he says, this is page 22. I was happy not only because I was in a band I've been dying to join, but because I knew in order to hang with these cats, I'd have to hone my chops. I was up for it. I had the vocal support of my bandmates except for Prince, who stayed silent. That was his way. Aloofness was how he stood apart. He led aloofly but intensely. I never have, before or since, seen anyone work with music with his kind of focus. I could be on the clock for hours at a time. I thought I was devoted, but Prince, man, that MF was never off the clock. He slept, ate, drank, and devoured music. Couldn't stop writing it, rehearsing it, performing it. He was possessed and remained that way every waking day. It's amazing. Even reading it, the parts that are Prince, I can actually hear his voice. It's like it's even written in a way that Prince would say it or write it. I used to get Prince's albums and I would read the lyrics and stuff, and I would die for you as an eyeball, and die the number 4 for the word for, and the letter U for you. You know, it's so Prince. You know, and that's the same way that it's laid out in the book. It's just I can't imagine what it's like to be friends with someone who was that talented, even as a kid, and then who grew up to be an icon. What that must have been like, for Morris. For me, there is not one person, not one, that I grew up with who is that amazing like Prince is. There's not one person. And I remember going to parties and stuff, my family's parties and stuff. And I would invite my friend, Candy. She would come and we would dance, and my auntie would do her hair and stuff like that. And the way that I was raised, there was nothing that could be done with it because I wasn't in a choir. Excuse me. I wasn't in a choir because my mom was taking us to a church that didn't have no choir. We were singing off of a cassette, in a songbook with a whole bunch of people. There was no way for you to do anything in church. Like with Morris, his first drum set, his mom bought it for him. My mom never bought none of us instruments. My mother didn't play any instruments. My mother didn't sing. My mother was a dancer, but even around family and stuff like that, she never danced. She never felt, and I just think that it's just, ugh. I used to feel sorry for my mom because all of the talents that she had or whatever never was cultivated. And she never took the initiative of her own self to grow herself. You know what I mean? And other people that encouraged my mom to do stuff, she never followed up on it. Never did. She always took the back seat. She always low rated herself. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And there's no way for me to figure it out because she's never going to go to family therapy. Nobody in my family does that. I mean, I went to therapy on my own, but I can only tell my therapist my perspective and my memories and my feelings about a situation. As far as my other family members and stuff, they're not there to say whatever it was or whatever they remember. And I swear, from my son to my mom they swear to God they don't even remember the stuff. And my youngest sister, she feels like none of the stuff from the past should even be brought up. It's like, I did that when I was a kid. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does, boo. It's your character. Don't you understand? It is the foundation. It is your character. It is, if you have a foundation of BS, how you gonna build on that? That girl did all kinds of crazy stuff, and then she saw soul food and wanted to know how come my family ain't like that. I was like, girl, because mom don't cook. We didn't have no Sunday dinners. Okay? My mom barely fed us. I'm telling you, my family is super duper crazy. Now, They may have good points about them. I really can't tell you what they are because I didn't spend a lot of time with my family, honestly. I spent a lot of time on my own. I spent a lot of time in the library, research, um, talking to my teachers and other people like that. I didn't get into music or beauty pageants or dance recitals or anything like that because I didn't have that support from my family. It's hard to do that kind of stuff when, in other words, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston had a mom who was a background singer for Luther Vandross. Okay? Whitney Houston grew up in a church where she was in the choir from a very early age. Her mom was a choir director of the church. Okay? These things matter. With Tina and Matthew, no, neither one of them sing. As far as I know, neither one of them was in a band or anything like that. But they had money, and they were willing to support her as far as her look and her clothes. That her mom did that. And then when it came to management in the business, her dad did that. Her personal assistant was her cousin. Do you know I couldn't have not now person in my family could ever be my personal assistant. Untrustworthy. Untrustworthy. They would rob me. They would disrespect my house. They would disrespect my car. All of that. I couldn't even trust my son. Do you hear me? I could not trust my son and my daughter-in-law to do anything with me when it comes to business. Not run my foundation, not none of that. My books, handle my website. No. None of them will be able to do that. And another person that comes to my mind is Meghan Markle. Her mom supports her, even though her mom is not a dancer or never was married to royalty or anything like that. But Meghan went into being a movie star because her dad was a DP for Married with Children. He was in the entertainment industry. Meghan does yoga and stuff like that because her mom was into yoga. When you come from a family that ain't doing nothing, that's a problem. Morris Day, even in reading his book, he was saying how his mom and his stepfather even threw parties every weekend and he listened to the music and all of that. He loved music. And before his mom bought him a drum set, he was using knives and forks and spoons and beating on her pots and pans and stuff like that. That's why she bought him a drum kit, and the music was in the house, all kinds of music. And she did not dissuade him. She supported his interest in music, and he took it from there. When it came to my kids, they were interested in music, but do you know that they wouldn't do it? They're so much like my mom. I bought, let me tell you something. I bought a keyboard for Jonathan and for Joseph. I bought all kinds of drumsticks for Jonathan. I bought all kinds of stuff. I paid fees. Joseph was in plays. I supported him. And they would have him up on the stage and stuff. And Joseph would be up there singing and stuff. I joined a church that had a choir. My boys was in the choir. They had their robes. I was there every time the church door opened. You can only do what you can do. You can only do what you can do. And there's a million people out there that are just like Morris that love music or whatever and just have never been able to do anything with it. There's little kids that are born right now that are beating on pots and pans and stuff like that, and their mama is beating their behind. She ain't buying them no drum kit. It is what it is. Everybody has a different path in life. Life happens differently for everybody. And you just do what you can do. You just do what you can do. Here in Seattle, There's nothing for older people. It's for younger people. And in the Black community here, when you're a talented person or you're very gifted, they just steal your idea. The ones who are in position to do something with it, they just steal your concept. They steal your idea. That's what they do. And it's not anything that's unheard of, because even in here, Morris was saying that back in the day, his mom sketched out the whole Mall of America for Minnesota, and she pitched her idea to a congressman and all this kind of stuff. Never heard nothing back from him. And then boom, a few years later, Mall of America existed. Is it that phenomenal now? From what I hear, it's not. But it's because it was a stolen idea. It was a stolen idea. They stole it from Morris's mom. You got to read this book, man. I was just like, what? Almost every page is a page turner. And just the information that he is saying just so far. And I've only read 22 pages, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Get your copy, honey, and then hit me up. Tell me what you think about it. Okay? What information kind of stands out to you? What's your impression? I can't believe his age. He's so much older than me. And it's just crazy. Just in 22 pages. So I can't wait to continue to read in the book. And I am really looking forward to it. Morris gives thanks to his wife. I think that it was her idea to really support him in doing this. That's her. I put it up on Instagram, a picture of her. That's Lorena Day down there with Morris. Isn't she gorgeous? She's young, honey. She's a young thing, honey. So anyway, I'm going to get on in here. I done got home. But I'm just sitting out here in the car to talk to y'all. So anyway, I'm going to get my butt on in here. So I will talk to y'all later. It is the last Tuesday of 2019, baby. I'm sorry I'm belching. I am sorry, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. I don't think I'm going to be reading tonight, but I'm going to still bring it up with. I'm going to take it back with me tomorrow at work too. So when I get a chance, I'm going to be reading, yo. So anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.